You're watching WAFF 48 News Today with Haley Baker, Trent Butler, and meteorologist Brandon Spenner.
Bracing for impact. Right now, states along the Gulf Coast are preparing for this massive storm, Hurricane Laura, to make landfall. It is gaining strength the closer it approaches the U.S. Meteorologist Eric Burke is in this morning, joins us in just a bit with a closer look at Laura's timeline.
And in Louisiana, prepping for that impact, Louisiana National Guard and the State Department of Transportation are helping people preparing to evacuate. Department of Transportation buses are lined up. You see it here at Lafayette Regional Airport, ready to take off at a moment's notice if people need a way to safety. And now to Texas. Hurricane Laura evacuees from Galveston arrived safely in Austin. This after Galveston issued a mandatory evacuation order. Evacuees are being brought to Austin by bus, you see here, and being put up in hotels until the storm passes. City officials expect around 400 buses to come from Galveston to Austin.
And the two states just mentioned there, Texas and Louisiana, are prepping for Hurricane Laura to make landfall tonight or early tomorrow morning. And Louisiana's Governor John Bel Edwards knows the damage a storm like this can cause.
Just from a historical perspective, Laura is shaping up to look a lot like Rita did 15 years ago in terms of its forecasted intensity. We don't say that to scare anybody, but that point of reference sometimes helps in order to make sure people understand the seriousness of the situation.
And new this morning, we're hearing from the mayor of one of the cities which could take a direct hit from the storm. That's Beaumont, Texas. The city's mayor, Becky Ames, is pleading with people there to pack up their things and evacuate before it's too late.
Well, it is serious. That's why we called for a mandatory evacuation. And we have been posting and talking to people all day long that have chosen not to evacuate, that they need to understand the situation and they need to recognize the importance of it.
And we are now joined this morning by meteorologist Eric Burke. Eric's been tracking this system for a while. And give us the latest on the timeline and the strength of this storm.
Well, timeline pretty consistent with the latest forecast, but the latest wording in the National Hurricane Center advisory is saying we are going to have a Category 4 hurricane at some point today. Even just the satellite imagery getting more and more impressive with every hour, feeding off the warm waters of the Gulf. And look at the expanse of this hurricane. Right now, a high-end Category 2, sustained winds around 110 miles per hour, but it has strengthened immensely in the past 24 hours. And also that wind field starting to become a lot wider and a lot more widespread. And also that eye continuing to develop. That's where you have that deep convection happening. Tracking off to the northwest, will make landfall as a major hurricane, whether it's a Category 3 or 4. It is the storm surge, potentially 10 to 15 feet in spots for East Texas and Louisiana. We could see some potentially strong storms Friday into Saturday. We are tracking flash flooding happening across Franklin and parts of Lawrence County. We'll touch on radar, talk more about your morning and Laura, all coming up in a few minutes.
Eric, thank you so much. Well, the results, they are in. Tuesday's elections had people across the state heading to the ballot box to decide the future of their cities. And in Huntsville, we're looking now at a runoff for a key city council seat. WAFF 48's Kelly Miller is live for us. And Kelly, Will Culver came very close to walking away with the victory last night, but it turns out his campaign is not over, is it?
Trent, exactly. Now, Alabama law says you need to get 50% of the vote plus one in order to win a race when there are more than two candidates running. Now, in other words, if there are 1,000 votes cast, you need 501 votes. 500 will then send you to a runoff. Now, that's basically what happened to Will Culver. He was just 17 votes shy of clinching that 50% plus one. John Meredith took 38% and Tom Hoff 12%. Obviously, Hoff is out, leaving Meredith and Culver. Now, Culver is a former police officer who has been on the city council since 2008. A major part of his campaign platform, economic and infrastructure development. Now, John Meredith is the son of a well-known civil rights figure, James Meredith. He spent his career representing small businesses, lobbying and coalition building and grassroots networking. Now, a major part of his campaign platform, road improvement projects. And there is about 5 more weeks of campaigning to do before the October 6th runoff. In Huntsville, Kelly Miller, WAFF 48 News, on your side.
Kelly, thank you. 4 more years for Huntsville Mayor Tommy Battle. Voters elected him to serve his 4th term as the city's mayor. During his time in office, Mayor Battle is credited with helping modernize Huntsville, also recruiting big-name companies that employ thousands of people. And according to Mayor Battle, there is still work to be done to keep the city growing.
We have worked over the past 12 years to hit every segment of what this community needs, north, south, east, and west, so that we could bring that together. I think the thing I would love to see us is to make sure that every section of the city shares in the success of what we see as Huntsville.
And missing from the crowd last night, Mayor Battle's wife, Eula, who is undergoing cancer treatments.
Well, a similar story of success in the city of Madison for Mayor Paul Finley, who wins his 3rd mayoral election. Mayor Finley defeated Mark Highsmith, who did quite well, though, claiming 41% of the votes. But that was not enough. Finley wins, does not need a runoff with 59%. And for Mayor Finley, the backing from the community in Madison shows people still support what he's doing to keep the city moving in the right direction.
We've worked very hard over the last 8 years to take that trust and turn it into something that meant something for them. We're not going to stop. We didn't ever stop being mayor while we ran this campaign. We've worked well with council. We'll continue to do that. But we're going to continue to make a difference for our families, our community, and we're humbled by the opportunity.
And by the way, coming up this evening at 5 and 6, our team will sit down with Mayor Paul Finley and talk about his plans for the future of Madison. In Decatur, some very interesting results. We told you in our first half hour, Mayor Tab Bowling and Butch Matthews are now heading to a runoff. Whoever wins will have a very different city council to work with. WAFF 48's Peyton Walker joins us live to break all this down for us. In Peyton, there is one young man, and we mean young, who is waking up very happy this morning.
Trent, that's exactly right. 18-year-old Hunter Pepper just finished high school a few months ago, and now he's graduated to Decatur City Council, winning the District 4 seat in a shocking upset. Take a look at these votes right here. Hunter, with his 508 votes, beat longtime incumbent Charles Kirby with his only 472. Quite the upset for the candidate. And another big surprise, Council President Paige Bibby lost her seat to Carlton McMasters for District 3. Now, this all means that District 1's Billy Jackson will be Decatur's only incumbent council member to return. Kyle Dukes Pike will take the District 2 seat, and Jacob Ladner is the new councilman for District 5. The new term begins on November 3rd. So again, lots of upsets in this election, and the seat for mayor still up for grabs. Bowling will face off Butch Matthews in a runoff election on October 6th. So we'll be sure to keep you updated of that as that election heats up. Live in the newsroom, Peyton Walker, WAFF 48 News, on your side.
Well, Peyton, thank you so much. The people of Scottsboro say it's time for something new. That's because the majority of voters chose Jim McCamey as their new mayor. He defeated incumbent Mayor Robin Shelton. Shelton has served as mayor since 2016. And like Shelton, McCamey, also a Scottsboro native, he also served as the emergency manager for Jackson County. McCamey says 4 generations of his family have lived in Scottsboro, and he says the town means everything to him.
I kept hearing in January, February, March concerns that were raised about the streets, about jobs, about different issues that have been issues for a long time. And I thought, well, if this is going to be my chance, this is it, and I'm going to take it.
And McCamey plans to start his new role as mayor in November.
For the first time in 20 years, the people of Muscle Shoals have elected a new leader. Mike Lockhart will serve as the mayor of Muscle Shoals. Lockhart says he plans to focus on industrial growth, incentivizing small businesses to come to the area to digitize the city, and says he has a plan to help mitigate the flood areas in Muscle Shoals.
Well, construction is underway on the new training facility for Huntsville police officers and firefighters. When construction is complete, this new facility will bring most of the department's specialized units under one roof, including the SWAT team and the K-9 unit. The building will include several high-tech and modern classrooms that the current facility does not have. Construction is currently scheduled to be done by next fall.
North Alabama's most accurate weather team. Now, your first alert weather with meteorologist Eric Burke.
Well, Franklin County, you've had quite the morning already on this Wednesday. You've seen probably 3 inches of rain in most spots across the county and also parts of Lawrence County. Flash flood warning continues through 9 o'clock. We've got more torrential rain coming in behind it, and on top of that, this little cluster could produce some 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts. Still tracking some stronger winds moving from Lawrence County into Morgan County. Lots of cloud to ground lightning with this. Remember, lightning can strike several miles away and into Lawrence and Morgan County right now. This tracking off to the east around 20 miles per hour. Here's a better storm track for you toward the Decatur area, 703, Hartselle 716. And looking at radar, could see some wind gusts over 40 miles per hour as this tracks to the east. It won't rain all day. We'll talk more about your forecast and Hurricane Laura in a couple minutes.